Jeck, Superintendent of Fauquier County Schools, with another edition of One Heart Question. I'm going to be answering two questions today because one is really straightforward, and but I know there's some interest in it in the answer. So here we go. It's from Cynthia. First, I'd like to thank you for taking time to answer my question. It says, is Fauquier County ever going to be able to attract, retain teachers with pay scales comparative to surrounding counties? Fauquier County's teacher scale can be up to $600 less per month compared to salaries in counties like Prince William, City of Manassas, and Loudoun. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks. Good question. This is a question I've heard stated in different ways, but in different venues. First and foremost, you know, we're obviously not like Prince William or Loudoun. We're not that large, etc. Still, we need to be competitive. So, in looking at our pay scale, our teacher pay scale particularly, if you look at a pay scale in terms of years of service and then pay, the actual salary, you know, the scale should be, you know, be a straight line. It should be their equity between steps, between years. And we've got a little dip in our scale. We're fairly competitive at the bottom, and we're fairly competitive at the top. But in some middle steps, like in years 3 through 14, I believe, we're not competitive. And that's where we lose 50% of our teachers, or at least last year we did. So what I proposed Monday was a 2-year, which is really, it's really going to turn into a 6-year salary competitiveness plan, where we'll address issues sort of in the middle of the scale in those 3 to 14 year, in that 3 to 14 year realm, you know, address those needs over the next several years. The average raise, I think, ended up being about 2.1% for each of the next 2 years. And then we'll have to sort of go back and recalibrate after 2 years and continue the plan after 2 years. But it's a 2.1% average pay increase. But folks in that middle area, which I just mentioned, in that 3 years to 13 or 14 years experience, would receive a significantly higher raise. And that's, again, an attempt to be more competitive there, because that's where we're losing most of the teachers. So anyway, that's the plan moving forward. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. Prince William and Loudoun pay, you know, their salaries are exceptional compared to not just us, but most everyone outside of the Northern Virginia Beltway sort of thing. But it's a good question. We are trying to address it, and it's one of those things that costs money. 89% of our budget right now goes to salary and benefits, and I don't feel that we are overstaffed anywhere. Our student-teacher ratios are very good, but I'm not seeing overstaffing in any way, shape, or form in Fauquier County. Sorry, I'm just not. And I've worked other places, and you know, I do my homework. We're not there. So anyway, thanks for the question. The other question is this. Hi, Dr. Jeck. This is actually my second time around asking one hard question. No problem. I had submitted a question in December regarding the proposed calendar for 14-15. And I appreciate your prompt response. If I may, I would like to ask you this time about the high school block scheduling and what the benefits are for students to be on these schedules. I understand there are less classes to take each semester, but beyond that, I'd love to know why we chose to have this type of schedule and some highlighted benefits. If you could also specifically address what benefits students received due to this type of scheduling, especially in career courses, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's a very good question. And I always appreciate when people, and I appreciate your time. Thanks, Dr. Jeck. Thank you. God, it makes me feel good. Okay. Here we go. So, and that's from Karen. Yeah. Okay, first and foremost, full confessional here. I'm a block schedule fan. I'm particularly a fan of 4x4 block scheduling, and I'll tell you why. Lots of reasons. One, data, national data statistically shows that students in 4x4 schedules, they don't necessarily achieve higher unstandardized test scores, but they have higher GPAs. There are less disciplinary problems, and that's because one of the reasons why is because there's fewer classroom changes. There's fewer transitions from one class to the other where often issues occur. And there's more time in a block schedule for teachers to develop quality relationships with students. Now that might sound a little trite and Pollyanna-esque, but it's true. In a 4x4 block or in an AB block, teachers have students for longer chunks of the day, And that's a good thing for students. They get to develop those relationships with their teachers. And also, I mentioned the piece about there's fewer discipline issues. There's better GPAs traditionally. But here's the biggest benefit as I see it. And I've always seen it this way. If I'm a student, and I've got a student in Greene County right now, a senior, who's got a traditional schedule. He's got 7 classes, and he's an honor student. He's in advanced classes, AP, dual enrollment, and he's just continuously slammed with homework. And some nights he'll have homework in, all his cores, and it's just a lot. So if you're a senior and you've got AP English, AP Government, dual, he's got a couple dual enrollments. Some nights he's got homework in all 4 of those classes. What 4x4 block does is say, all right, we're going to do more of a college-like schedule. So you got 4 classes first semester, 4 classes second semester. Let's say in your first semester you've got English, and you've got a science, and then you've got PE, and then you've got an elective. Okay, that means for those 18 weeks, you're going to have 2 cores, which are probably going to be laden with lots of homework and lots of prep. And then you're going to have 2 classes with less homework, perhaps less stress, and that's good for students. I mean, no matter how you slice it, that is a positive for students. And within my student advisory group, I've asked them a question about 4x4. Students like 4x4 because it's less stressful, and it's more opportunity, and it's more opportunity for teachers, by the way, to do creative things within their classrooms, to do exciting, interesting things in their classrooms, so they have more time. They have more time to do it. It requires more planning, but it can be done that way. So there's a lot of benefits to it. I think I've just touched on a few of them. And if Karen, if you'd ever want to call or stop by or whatever, have a cup of coffee, I can go through all the things I think are beneficial for students, and kind of lay those things out and talk to you about it. But I've already got up to 7 minutes on this answer, and that always drives my secretary crazy because she has to type up the transcript. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you for these questions. I hope the answer was helpful. Have a good